The man had just started ziplining when his safety harness began to break, but he was completely unaware of the danger. He kept taking photos and posting them on social media until he reached the middle of the zipline, right above the deepest part of the canyon below. Only then did he realize the peril he was in. He quickly grabbed onto the steel cable above to stop himself, but by this point, his safety harness had completely snapped. To avoid falling, he had no choice but to lift his feet and clamp them around the cable too. However, by the time the staff arrived to rescue him, he was already exhausted. The rescuer quickly clamped his legs around the man's body and slowly crawled back. They thought this would ensure his safety, but less than 10 seconds later, the man had completely run out of strength. He couldn't even hold on to the rescuer's body and could only let himself slide down, eventually falling into the 100-meter deep abyss. But this was just the beginning of the man's nightmare. His wife, who was standing on the platform, refused to give up. She rushed down the hillside to save her husband. As a retired Special Forces soldier, she had extensive jungle survival experience. Using reference points on the steel cable, she determined her husband's approximate location and then called his phone. Hearing the ringtone, Lisa quickly found her barely conscious husband. By this time, the ambulance called by the staff had also arrived. Strangely, however, the paramedics stopped Lisa from accompanying her husband. Not wanting to delay the rescue, Lisa had no choice but to follow their arrangements. She got on a motorcycle and closely followed the ambulance. But just as they were about to reach the hospital, an SUV suddenly emerged from the roadside. Lisa couldn't dodge in time and fell to the ground, losing track of the ambulance as a result. What she didn't know was that all of this was deliberately orchestrated. When Lisa arrived at the hospital, the nurse at the front desk said there was no ambulance bringing her husband at all. Lisa thought she had gone to the wrong hospital, so she checked several nearby hospitals, but the result was the same. The ambulance had vanished into thin air. Lisa hurried to the police station to report the incident. After learning about what had happened, the police chief thought they could start by looking for clues at the zipline site. Unexpectedly, the staff there seemed very uneasy and claimed they had never seen Lisa and her husband, even though he had enthusiastically received them just the day before. Lisa was furious and wished she could tear him to shreds on the spot. With no clues to be found, the police officer said there was nothing he could do and hastily concluded the case. Since that was the case, Lisa decided to find her missing husband her own way. She went back to the zipline platform, roughly attached the safety clasp to the staff member, and then pulled him down the zipline all the way to the deepest part of the canyon. The man was terrified. Lisa threatened him, saying that if he didn't tell her where her husband was, she would throw him off.